even though, you know, I think everybody's just kind of like holding at this point for the most part. If you're in crypto already, you're just like, I'm just holding until zero at this point.
Analysis paralysis, just like you said.
Right. So, you know, I think that most people, you know, somewhat are talking themselves in. They probably are really nervous, thinking that the market might not recover, right? And it's just like holding and hoping for the best. But the majority of people, man, I mean, like the fear and greed index is a great example, right? Everybody's in extreme fear. Like every single person right now, $47,000 Bitcoin is extremely fearful. And to be at a market low across the board, and once again, look at the coins I just brought to your attention. They're at the same levels, which they haven't even broke from 3.5 years ago, right? So like that's one example there. But in general, like you have every single person all across the board is panicked and whatever. And the number one reason is because of this term. And like thinking back, we all came from at least the 2017 era. Man, nobody talked about a bear market. We didn't learn about a bear market until we were in the middle of one. So everyone is so overly fearful, which you should be, because we've made them that way basically by telling them how terrible it was. But it's crazy to me how much more fear I feel like we've spent in this market than in you know in pure joy. And the reason I raised my hand a second ago is because I was going to say, what makes $40,000 the bear market, if I may ask?
Nick, please.
I said this when I first said it. I said this just straightforward. I don't have a technical number for you. So I don't have like a chart pattern that I'm going to show you, because ultimately, let's be real, I actually could, I believe, pull that up and show you that you're making lower highs but not lower lows at that point. So I do believe that by the chart, depending on what you're looking at, daily, weekly, whatever, we are showing that. Am I correct on that? First of all, I believe so, because I did look at it.
If we went below 40,
yeah,
somewhat.
Okay, so that's the answer.
Nicely saying no, it's not wrong, but I don't want to embarrass you on your own show.
Well, no, the only reason I actually say that is because obviously what constitutes a bear market in the stock market is when you see a 20% or more collapse.
But that's not the same with crypto.
Right, and that's never been fully outlined. That's the only reason I say that. Like obviously we know what a bear market is when looking back and you see a steady decline of like 80% or more. But that's the only reason I said that is because I'm just like, where do we draw the line, I guess, in that aspect? Because
it's a great question, and I don't even think that maybe I should word it the way that I did. Here's what I should say.
That was a good answer, though. That's not. That wasn't bad. I mean, that makes sense.
So, but 40 for me was more me looking at my average entry point in ETH, which is my massive amount of my holdings. Me knowing how I do believe that we have another bear market in us, like a real deal full bear market, and me knowing how much I can capitalize on taking profits at 40K. And the downside for me, the amount of downside if 69 was the top, like assuming that maybe we have historical precedents that still stay in place. If 69 was the top, we get below 40, and then I ride that back down with the amount that I've accumulated. For me, the downside was much, much greater, much worse for me than the upside was of saying, hey, you know what, we might turn back around and I might be able to double that up. The downside for me seemed a lot more to not be able to reaccumulate at with the amount of capital that I want to.
That's short-sighted stuff, bro.
Yep, I know. Listen. I get it. I am a crypto sinner for talking about taking profits. I get it, guys. I'm working on it.
It's not about taking profits, but it's about accumulating fiat, bro. That just.
I didn't say accumulating fiat. I didn't even say fiat. I told you that I was going to take it in stable coins and take them.
But they're cousins, bro. They're the same people, okay? What? They're the same people. Let's relax. It's the same thing. It's just like saying, hey, I don't hold fiat. My bank account, it's not fiat. It's just sitting there digitally. It's a digital dollar. It's the same thing, bro.